Hello, welcome back tuning into today's video. We're going to do the second winter 2013-2014 roundup today. Not seasonal one roundup, but roundup. I'm going to be having a look at things like Siberian snow cover, Arctic sea ice, sea surface temperature anomalies, all of that kind of thing. I did a video a couple of weeks ago, the first one. We're going to do a second update today to see how things are progressing as we move through now into, the autumn. All of the things that you see in this video are eventually going to go into the final winter 2013-2014 forecast, which I'll be issuing on the 1st of December 2013. So we're going to progress through the autumn. We're going to see how these things are developing as we go along. So I'll be updating this over the next couple of months as we build up towards that all-important day and forecast on the 1st of December. Now, before I go on that, just talk about the advertising. There may or may not be green keyword ads on all my pages at gazweathervids.com. Not sure if they'll be there or not today. They're becoming a bit patchy, but I think they may be there. If they're not, they'll be there in a day or so's time. If you right cursor over green keywords, they will display ads, but if you click through the word, you go to advertiser's website, you'll be supporting gazweathervids.com by doing that, and thanks so much for doing that. I know that you have been clicking the green keywords. Keep clicking the green keywords, and you'll keep supporting gazweathervids.com. Thanks so much for doing that. Now, before we go on with everything else that I want to do in the video, I've just got to finish off last week's video, the seasonal model roundup, the first one, because we didn't have the Beijing Climate Centre, and I said that there was a problem at the Beijing Climate Centre website. They fixed the problem, and now we have indeed got the charts from the Beijing Climate Centre. So we'll just have a quick look at that, see what Beijing Climate Centre is going for the winter of 2013-2014. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly for the winter, and well, it's not particularly good news if you want a cold winter. We have got plenty of blocking up over Greenland, so that going in the right direction there, and going towards Newfoundland as well. Plenty of blocking. We've got a bit of a cut-off low in the Atlantic, so that looks like a bit of a negative NAO. But we've got this area of high pressure, big area of above average heights, indicated by these orange colours, sitting around and just to the south of the British Isles. So the jet stream with this would be going something like that around the ridge up there, and then down around the trough. And maybe rising up around that ridge and going off over here, and again it appears over here around this trough over Scandinavia and Western Russia. Now that's a cold winter for much of Scandinavia. It's a cold winter for much of Russia as well, but for us, well, I'm afraid if you want a cold winter, it's not good news, because that's where we are, and very apparently we're stuck under that ridge that's centred over Spain and the Mediterranean. So what we'll be getting with that is a lot of southwesterly sort of flows. We'll be bringing tropical air up from the mid and tropical Atlantic. That's a mild looking winter from the Beijing Climate Centre, no questions about that. So just the temperature forecast, back that up. Here's the temperature forecast for the winter, and yep, it very much does. We're in the orange colours there across much of Western Europe and going into Central Europe as well. We are in the orange colour, so it's a milder than average winter being predicted. Colder up over Scandinavia under that trough and going out in towards Russia as well. They're going to have a cold winter if that's right, but for us and many central western parts of Europe, it is a mild winter from that 500 millibar height anomaly. And in terms of precipitation, actually coming out near normal, to be honest. Again, there's the British Isle just there. It's dry on average to the south under that ridge around Spain and Portugal. It's a bit wetter than average really for the British Isles, probably because we're bringing a lot of tropical airflows through, and pretty moist airflows at that. Always wettest with that, probably in the northwest, driest in the south and the southeast. But if you want a cold winter, that's not a particularly good update from the Beijing Climate Centre. I suspect that you wish that it had excuse me, it hadn't updated, to be honest. But let's not get too disheartened about that. It's early days yet, and there'll be another couple of updates from the Beijing Climate Centre in October and in November, and maybe things will change. I've got quite a bit of blocking up over Green, so it's not far away, and a cut-off low in the Atlantic. The NAO isn't particularly positive, so it's not far away from delivering a cold winter. We just need to ease off the heights down over Spain and Portugal. So it'll be interesting to see how that one develops, I think, over the next couple of months. So going on with the roundup anyway, that's the end of the models. There was a mixed bag, some looking cold, some looking mild. I think Beijing Client Centre by far and away the mildest signal though from the models that we've had this month. We will do another seasonal model roundup, by the way, next month, and we'll have many more seasonal models to add into the mix, so it'll be interesting to see those models next month. Many more of them will be coming up. But let's get on with the roundup now, and we're going to start off with the sunspot activity, see what the sun's doing, and this is the disc, this is the solar disc on our side of the disc, the image of the solar disc on our side today, and this is from the website solarham.net, and it's the same old story for solar cycle 24, because once again, despite the fact we're virtually at, or maybe we're even past solar maximum of this solar cycle, very little activity going on. We have got a bit of activity in that region, just a little bit over there as well, but generally very low solar activity. In fact, the official sort of forecast, official idea for the sun for today is that it's very low solar activity. So once again, we see very little activity going on. It's a very weak solar cycle. Talked about it many times, of course. And the idea behind the solar cycle is that if it stays weak, or the solar activity, I should say, if it stays weak, then it favours northern blocking. I've spoke about it quite a lot, so no need to go over that again. But once again, it's the same idea, very little solar activity to be seen. Now let's have a look at the sea surface temperature anomalies. There was a very interesting area that we looked at last time, and I'll just go through to that actually. This was it, around Alaska and the western coast, or northwestern coast of Canada and the United States. It's this area just here. It's very warm, and I said, but I thought the idea behind that, if that was to persist into winds, is that it would probably promote a ridge up there around Alaska and the west coast of Canada and the northwest coast of the United States, which would probably correspond to a trough off the coast of Eastern America and around East America. So you get a ridge up there, a trough down there, and that would go on then into another ridge in the mid-Atlantic and a trough around the British Isles. In other words, it's a cold signal for Eastern America and the west of Europe around the British Isles. Well, things have progressed a little bit with this. I said it's very unusual to get that warm anomaly up there. It is a very unusual place to have a warm anomaly, and as we've gone over the last couple of weeks, we have started to see quite evident cooling going on up there. It's not particularly cold yet, but certainly the sea surface temperature anomalies are beginning to cool off around that coast of America, around that northwestern coast of America, up towards the western coast of Canada and around Alaska. Definitely the temperature anomalies are beginning to lower, and my suspicion is that this whole area will eventually turn quite cold once we get towards the winter. It certainly should be cold. It's usually a very cold place in the Pacific, and it certainly appears that we're beginning to edge towards cooling the waters down around there. So we probably don't need to look excuse me, at any more sort of examples when there was that warm water around there during the winter. We probably don't need to worry about it. Actually, I think it's going to cool off, but I'll be keeping an eye on it in any case. The ENSO region, which is just here, we always keep an eye on that through the run up to the winter, and we're around neutral. We're on the La Nina side of neutral. It may go more towards the El Nino side of neutral as we get to winter, but certainly no big changes in the equatorial Pacific just at the moment. Very much neutral sort of conditions going on there. And for the Atlantic, well, we haven't really got a tripod. We have got some warmer waters going on up here around the coast of Newfoundland, or off the coast of Newfoundland, in towards the mid-Atlantic. It's quite warm through the tropical Atlantic, but it's pretty cool to the south of Greenland. So we haven't really got a tripod going on just yet. If anything, that's a signal for probably quite a positive sort of NAO. I'll be keeping an eye on the sea surface temperatures as we go along. Hurricane activity activity, very quiet season, very quiet hurricane season. This one, no changes since the last time we did the video. Actually, just 2 hurricanes have been named so far this season. No major category 3 or above hurricanes to speak of, and a total of 9 storms and 10 depressions. But this is an incredibly weak hurricane season this year. It could well ramp up as we go through October. October's usually quite a big month, but it's going to be one of the quieter hurricane seasons. There's no doubt about that. And then finally, have a look at the way September has panned out. This is from how September has panned out. This is from Philip Eden's website, the Central England Temperature. This is climateuk.com. You can find a link to this on my links page. Very interesting, but we've had a pretty much average month. This is set against the 71 to 1990, 71 to 2000 average. So we get a Central England temperature so far, provisional, at 13.6, which is 0.7 of a degree below average. If we were setting this against the 61 to 90 average, it would be closer to the seasonal norm, but certainly not a particularly warm September by any means. Rainfall coming out drier than average, just 89% of the average, and it's been a dull month as well, just 89% of sunshine, but certainly nothing in there that would indicate a particular pattern going forward into the winter. There is an idea that autumn patterns can kind of preclude what may happen as you go out into the winter, but there's nothing in this September to really go on in terms of a particularly cold winter coming up or a particularly mild winter either. Very much an average sort of September this one has been. So let's just get rid of all those charts, and we're going to look at something a little bit more interesting now. We're going to look at snow cover across Russia, Siberia and Arctic sea ice. First we're going to start with Arctic sea ice. We have passed the minimum of this season's melt season, and we're well above the minimum that we've had in past year. This is 2012, the lowest ever recorded for Arctic sea ice. We're on this black line just here, so we're well above that. We're really above 2007, 2011 and 2008 as well. We're on a par with this black line here with the years 2010 and 2009. We're below the last really quite good melt season for retaining sea ice, which was this one up here, 2006. We have come in below that, on a par with 2009 and 2010, but we have picked up quite a bit, and actually, if I just highlight that there, we're actually now above 2010, and we're at just above 2009 as well. We're getting a very good pick up with that black line, and maybe if it carries on we might end up with 2006, but of course the minimum of this melt season is going to be below 2006 whatever happens, but certainly not the sort of catastrophic melt season that we had last year and in 2007 either. So that's the sea ice that we have got at the moment over the North Pole, that yellow area there. Yeah, it's been a pretty reasonable season. Reasonable in brackets because it's comparing it to last year. It's not a catastrophic season as we had last year, but it's by no means good. We have had a big melt season again, and a lot of that of course is because the ice is very weak after the big melt out that happened last year. But look at this, we've got some really good snow cover building up across eastern and central parts of Siberia. That white area around there is very, very early and extensive snow cover. We're way above where we was last year. I'm going to run through the charts from past years very quickly to show you how advanced we are with the snow cover this year. Now this is the first year we can start with, 1998. We're probably on a par with 1998 to be honest, maybe a little bit more than 1998. This is again 2013, that's 1998. Do we think we're close to that or maybe a little bit above it? I think we're a little bit above it to be honest, but we're not far away. But if we go through to 1999, well then we see that we're well above 1999. The snow cover wasn't this advanced in 99. Neither was it in the year 2000, and neither was it going through to 2001. Definitely got more snow cover this year than we had at this point, 27th of September in 2001. Now, if you go through to 2002, that was a pretty advanced year, so let's compare those 2 years. Yeah, I think we're sort of on a par with that. I think we're a bit above it again, to be honest, but if there's a year we're on a par with, it's probably 2002 and 1998, but I think this year actually is a little bit more advanced than 2002 and probably 1998 as well. Now, there's hardly anything to speak of at all in 2003 at this point, nor was there in 2004. They were very weak season. Look at 2005. We barely got going at this point in 2005. 2006, yeah, barely going again, so well above this point in 2006. 2007, there's the catastrophic melt season that we had in 2007. We're well above that with the Arctic sea ice, but in terms of the snow cover, well, again, I think we're well above this point in 2007, as we are 2008, and as we are 2009. 2010, that was a reasonably advanced year, but again, I think we're well above 2010. Yeah, we definitely got more snow cover than this point in 2010. 2011, again, more snow cover than that point. And finally, 2012, where we barely got going. This time last year, we barely got going. So comparing this year to last year, well, look how much better the sea ice is for a start. But importantly for us, in terms of building the snow cover over Siberia and starting to lay the foundations for that Siberian high, we're well above where we was at this point in 2012. So we've got a very advanced snow cover season. I can't find a year there that's as advanced as this, I don't think, with close to 98 and 2002, but I think we're actually above both of those years, and that's as far as I can go on these charts. So basically, we're more advanced with the Siberian snow cover now than at any point in the record of this website, the NOAA website, back to 1998. So we're doing really well for snow cover. Now, of course, what happened last year is that we had that really slow start in 2012. It was a very slow start, but we dramatically increased through October. It shot up through October, and October is always the most important month, because whilst we are advanced, we've still got many thousands of miles there that aren't covered. So it's a good start, but we've got to wait and see how this develops as we go through October. It could be that this is going to continue and will quickly cover the Siberian plain through October. If it does, it's really good news for building up that Siberian high. It could be that the pattern that's driving this early snow cover is going to change, or it's going to flip, and we'll get a stall through October. So October will be the critical month with this, to be honest, and going into the very start of November, but particularly October, see how quickly that gets covered. But a really good start anyway to the Siberian snow cover, and as I say, that's important in laying the foundations, beginning to lay the foundation for the Siberian high, and starting to get that cold air digging into central and eventually western parts of Russia. So a bit of a mixed bag there, but certainly the Siberian snow cover is good if you're looking for a cold winter, and we'll just keep an eye on it over the next few weeks and months. Now, next week it's going to be the CFS 6-month look ahead video. We're going to be using the monthly anomalies from the CFS model at the website BTO Seal, and that's going to cover the whole of the winter period, and can you believe, going into spring as well. I think we're going up to April. I think that's right, going up to April next month. Can you believe it? But it just show it doesn't, time doesn't stand still for any of us. So CFS 6-month look ahead next week. Come back for that. I'm sure you'll find it very interesting what it's showing for those anomalies for the winter. But in summary, everything is on course, particularly in terms of Siberian snow cover building up over the plain. Very advanced snow cover for this point in the year. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. I know it's been a long video. I hope you found it interesting. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.